Good afternoon, guys. What's going on? It's a new day at the shop. We've actually got to go run some errands. So we've got to get some argon. We've got to take the nitrogen tanks. I think we've got to pick up something from FedEx. So join us for the journey and we'll come back to the shop. Okay, so we're inside the truck, so you got to deal with bumpiness and potential wind. But Cody had something he wanted to talk about.
Oh, well, not really. We got a next to air, the pump to aeromotive. I was going to buy something else and put something else in there, but it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time to get it to work.
Yeah.
And they suspect it's something up, so they're gonna fix it. So
Sweet.
next day air, hopefully have it back by the weekend.
That'll be sick.
And then argon run.
Woo.
And nitrogen run.
First time in Bud.
First time I hauled it, but I didn't know how it was gonna work, but I'm happy with it.
I was about to say tire rack is now multiple use for traveling with
That's
argon.
Right. I did it. I remember during we were measuring it, we were super limited on material and didn't have time to order more.
Yeah.
Because Pikes Peak. I think we built this like Tuesday before we left on Wednesday.
Yeah, everything was pretty much built the week before.
So, but I remember measuring like, sweet, we can fit an argon tank on the front side of the bar. So, it does. So,
Sweet.
running to town. What else? Got back from Cali. Everything was good. I know why people live there now. The weather's nice. The climate's nice. Cali isn't for me though. It's 100 miles of cement everywhere.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good trip. Got done what we needed to, plus a bunch more, so that was awesome. We have a new roundabout.
Yes, we do.
This is how fancy Traverse City, Michigan is. We have a new roundabout.
Yeah.
And nobody freaking knows how to drive in it. But it's got Bluetooth.
Oh yeah, he did some upgrades.
Oh yeah.
So he wasn't dying when he was driving Bud to Pikes Peak.
Yeah, Benoit wired that, did a good job. Oh, forgot about that. Those are doing good. What else? So, September, I've got 3 events with Enviate. I've got Empire Hillclimb. No, in order, I've got Midwest.
Yep.
And the next weekend is Empire Hillclimb.
Yep.
And then I've got an event at M1 that John wants to run the Enviate in.
Oh, really?
So, got to get the car working now so we can make sure it works for the events. So that's why the sudden rush. I was trying to get everything done before California, but didn't have time and nobody got back to me in time. So
Yeah.
Here we are.
Sweet. Well, that's good to know. I didn't know we were going to do something with John at M1. So
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, as soon as the car runs, we'll set up a day to go test with him. Make sure one, he fits in the car, which he should.
Yeah.
2, just make sure everything works.
Yep.
And then with his, we might even leave Enviate down there one of the trips, and we might grab his RS.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing a sequential, he decided, because he doesn't want to cut the car. So we're going to do a Porsche gearbox, the one that came out of his Can-Am. And I think in the last video I mentioned he was going to get the SATAV out of Enviate.
Yep.
So, so that'll power the Can-Am, and then the RS we're just going to do a 6-speed. Still do the turbo motor and all that. But
Well, because he didn't really want that as like a track car, right? He kind of wanted that as like a putz around, have fun, like out and about.
Well, I think he has interested parties in a driving car.
Gotcha.
Purchase a car, so pretty sure that's the route he's going. But anyway, so we might have that here to jam out. Like, I'm ordering a Haltech Nexus for it Thursday. So Brian's finishing up the wiring harness for the SUPERCAR Systems car. He's going to jump right into John's harness. So it's virtually the same harness, which is cool.
Hey, he's had practice.
Well, he's got it all pegboarded out too. So
Yeah.
it's literally copy and paste. So
Cool.
yeah, lots of stuff. What else? Stroker kit's finally ready for the NSX, so that'll be on the way soon. Got a deposit. I was waiting on that, and so is he. Waiting on the stroker kit to be ready, and then now we can move on the turbo kit.
Yeah.
Get all the fab done. So we're gonna jump into that
Sick.
later this week, I think. So we've already got the turbo in stock, so we'll be using that. Good stuff. So jamming, busy.
I was about to say, shops hopping and jumping. we've always been talking about still, like, you know, what it would be like if we were able to have the shop, the new shop. And it's just amazing because literally the biggest factor of anything is just the space to take on the projects to do them. So once we get that rolling, I mean, a lot more stuff will be in the works for sure. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can start making some more improvements on that. So I'm excited. But other than that, we're gonna run some errands, enjoy some B-roll, and we'll be back at the shop shortly. And we're back at the shop, and Cody actually has to measure some stuff on the SUPERCAR Systems gearbox for Rob at RPS. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go inside because Brian's working on something that's kind of pretty wild. I've never really seen it done, so it's super cool to see it. We'll let him explain it. So first, let's check on the gearbox. Okay, so we're out here because you got to get some measurements.
Yeah, I gotta get measurements for Rob. He's RPS Rob. He's building the clutch for these because he's the only one that can get something custom done that'll hold the torque in the time we need.
Jeez.
So,
as always,
it'll be one of his
Mr. Rob, thank you.
twin disc carbon units. It'll be good stuff. So, let's see. Well, I guess I'll measure depth because I think the only thing he cares about is this. He's got the card for that. So this is their torque plate. This kind of goes in between all the frame and stuff.
Gotcha.
So that way it's less stress on the actual engine mounts. And it's just a better design anyway.
That's cool. Now, what were you just pointing out?
So I saw you shooting through it earlier, but
yeah,
that's the first time I've seen it, but that's the window for the roll bearing right there. Yep.
Oh.
One's a bleeder, one's an actual line. Obviously you can't tighten it with the gearbox on the engine, but set that up and you have your lines coming in and out of there. I like it.
That's cool. You know, I was always curious how you did this.
Old school, baby. Okay. All right, we're good. So I was hoping the plate will clear the chassis or clear the suspension. Oh, there we go. This might actually make me look good.
Look at that clearance.
Clearance.
Ooh. Cool. Ta-da. Cool, now that that's in there, let's go see Brian and see what he's up to. And I was not kidding when I said this is a lot of stuff, because there is the wiring harness. This has been Brian's office for probably the past, what, week and a half?
Yeah, week and a half. This will be start of almost 2 weeks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is the wiring harness for the SUPERCAR Systems car. And again, I always say how much I don't know about anything. This makes my brain hurt. So I'm gonna let them kind of talk about what they've been doing. Okay, you have been in here for a while.
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
How has it been going?
It's been going pretty good. Couple of little rough spots, but for the most part, it's just a lot of tedious work and kind of got to be thinking like 3 steps ahead on basically everything you're doing.
Yeah.
So, which has been my downfall a few times, but overall, we're doing pretty good.
Good. I was about to say, I mean, you guys can see from the desk, I mean, there's all this stuff is here for a reason. I mean, yes, there's just a lot of components that go into that. I mean, look on how they have everything branched out, because you originally had the engine and you used rope, right, to kind of direct
Yes.
what you wanted to do with what wires go where and lengths.
So basically, like, what I kind of started out with was kind of like some thick, like, kind of climbing rope.
Yeah.
Threw it in the engine bay, kind of figured out where all the sensors, components, anything that needed to be in the electrical system,
Yeah.
where it was going, how to route it, like kind of the cleanest way that we could, because that's kind of Supercar's like MO. Just to kind of create a clean professional look, especially since this is going to SEMA.
Yeah.
Labeled everything, threw it on a table, basically took measurements of everything, figured out where all the branches were and all that stuff. And if you want to look at it, here's my really neat kind of rough wiring diagram. So got all the lengths of all the components that I needed, the branches where they're at, all that good stuff, and then eventually transferred it onto this. So
wicked, dude. Yeah, it's super interesting to see. Like, again, we didn't really film a whole lot of the wiring process with Ayrton when he was doing it for the Enviate, just because there was so much going on. So I really couldn't sit down and spend time with him and see what he's doing. So being able to see Brian do this, it's been really interesting. Again, since I don't know anything compared to these guys, and it's super cool to see, because you always hear that that's such a, number one, it's probably one of the most crucial parts to making the car run exceptionally well, and number two, it's so tedious. There's so many things that have to be connected. So huge shout out to Haltech for obviously doing everything you can. And Brian was actually watching a lot of HP Academy stuff. You said that helped you out a lot, right?
Yeah, so I got in touch with, I think her name was Lauren, on Instagram about it. She hooked me up with some of their electrical classes, and a lot of that stuff actually came in super handy on this.
Sweet.
This is the first harness that I've ever done. I've done some wiring in the past, but never a full harness like this.
Yeah,
so
to this extent.
They came in clutch with some really great lessons and courses. So
cool. Well, big shout out to you guys out there over at HP Academy, and again, always Haltech for doing everything you can for hooking it up.
Oh, and I'm supposed to do a not a blog. What do they call that?
Interview?
Yeah, with HP Academy, probably related to Enviate stuff.
Sweet.
It was scheduled for 2 weeks ago, but I got sick.
I was going to say, you were sick.
I had to cancel. I couldn't talk, so had no voice. Can't do a blog thing, video blog unless you're...
No.
So that'll be rescheduled probably within the next month.
Sweet.
But yeah, thanks for the stuff, HP Academy. You guys are always good to us.
Yeah. I was going to say, how do you feel about like the pegboard stuff? Because I know that you and I looked to be like, well, I think I want to do this.
So I knew we had several harnesses to do coming up, all with Haltech Nexus. I've got 2 Ultimates to do. We got this. We're probably going to do another couple of these cars, let alone any other V8 stuff. So it'll almost work for Enviate stuff too. This harness should almost drop in with an Enviate. I mean,
it's basically the same.
It will. It'll almost directly drop in. So
that's wild.
Decided to do a pegboard, and I learned of the pegboard from when I was Haltech did my harness in 2017 for the Enviate. Well, that's all they did. They might do something different now, but they just do a pegboard and they have it all measured out, and there you go.
That's wild. Do you think it helped you out a lot to kind of have that?
100%. Especially like once I actually got, because at first I was using zip ties to kind of fasten everything. Got some actual pegs, and it's nice because like kind of take this away. All of those measurements and everything that I had just transferred right onto here.
Gotcha.
And then just figuring out where to route the wires, which wires are going where, and I mean, if I did this on a regular table, it'd probably take at least like 20, 30 hours longer.
Yeah. Sorry, Ayrton. You did good, though. You did good. So yeah, it is. It's super cool to see. And I know it's funny. We were talking to him in the truck, and he was like, "Yeah, he's gonna have a couple more to do. So hey, you're freshly, you're good to go on wiring for a little bit, eh?"
And by the way, we gotta build a couple turbo kits. I'll probably do those. Because tube fabrication, you were struggling with in a couple little pieces.
So you gotta work with me on that.
Yeah. Well, you're good at wiring now, so you're doing that.
Yeah. You just signed up for
Just sign yourself up.
for wiring. But other than that, it's been super cool to see the process with that. So hopefully, what's the estimated time you think for this to try to plug it in and see how it does?
End of the week at least.
Yeah.
Realistically, tomorrow might actually be close. I mean, not the front part, but
Couple of days.
The engine harness.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
Sweet.
Yep.
So hopefully, in a couple of days, Brian, we get to test to see how it does.
Yeah, I think it'll be done tomorrow because you're pitting and plugging. Yeah, 8 more hours of that, you'll be done.
Sweet.
As long as you don't keep forgetting seals.
It's the damn seals every time.
Yeah, it's okay.
Every time.
So we're probably going to end it here for today, and hopefully tomorrow I can come back because Cody said he's actually got to do a couple of stuff with the Enviate tomorrow. So we will see you tomorrow.